Meatball, you have a choice. You can take the hot coffee and you stay in Wonderland, or you take the iced coffee and I'll show you how deep. My name is Andrew. How's it going? This is Professor Meatball, and today we're going to talk about a Hank date, right? We've talked about GME FTD cycles before in the past, but not quite like this one. Home Depot Hank is the author of this DD. We've covered his DD many times in the past. We've invited him on the show. He is careful about his privacy. So for all intents and purposes, go and check out his content, then come back here and say, wow, thanks so much, Andrew and Hank, for disseminating this information out for apes to understand, watching to the end of this video, and commenting out which like you are on the way up to, yes, that's right, 1,200 likes for this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. A Hank date, GME FTD cycle, failed to deliver. If you guys watched the Dr. Suzanne Trimbath AMA yesterday, you would have seen tons of information just about the FTD epidemic that's been going on through the financial systems for a very long time. And as a reminder, we're not financial advisors, but we do have some pretty impressive economists and presidential advisors and Congress people on our side. Good evening, apes. I hate my wife. I come to you with just a tiny little update. This will be a very random update with their thoughts on the past few days. The FTD cycle. Price-wise, the FTD cycle theory still seems plausible as we saw that nice increase on Monday. However, volume can only be described in one way. Pathetic. I am hoping for a large increase in volume, well over 10 million sometime soon. This seems more plausible, but they know that technicals don't seem to apply to GME, but they're a simpleton that have no self-control because the fact that the MACD has converged, right, that crossover we've talked about in a previous video. RSI is still sitting neutral and the TTM squeeze is ripe for some light blue candles. The IV is extremely low, so implied volatility staying low gives us a great opportunity for people to start getting some tasty deals on calls. And that option chain moving upward, it makes us ripe for a gamma squeeze. Also, they wanted to say that they absolutely love all the DD that they see about Elliott waves. We just covered one a couple days ago. They don't consider these technicals. They more consider them law. They are not an EW trader, though they'd like to be one day. They don't want to provide too much DD on this. Nevertheless, they want to say thank you to those who do DD on Elliott waves because they absolutely love it. We even had the writer of that Elliott wave DD come into the comment section. So YouTube and Reddit uniting. Here we are. After abusively shorting GME, hedge funds fall into this never-ending vortex. What is the FTD vortex here? And what is all of the, what does this have to do with the Suzanne Trimbath AMA, where she warned us about the triumvirate of trouble? Loans, shorts, and fails, right? Fail to delivers in this case. Let's see. Both implied volatility and volume are extremely low right now. Volume is disturbingly low. I am honestly shocked at how low it is. Our current setup says to me that volume just needs one thing. All it needs is like gravity. Just needs a little push. So yeah, we're winning on a little push. It's also very strange to see so many of these days where we have minuscule volume and low price changes. With all of these low price changes, they think that there's a chance that we're still in that giant triangle and have yet to break out of it because it seems that our uptrend patterns are getting smaller and shorter and our downtrend patterns are getting smaller and shorter. As we said before, SPY, S&P 500, and GME seem to have an inversely proportional relationship because funds have to sell off other assets when they cover GME. Well, thankfully, SPY seems more oversold than ever right now. Check this out. As we continue to chart upward, this is not sustainable growth. And that little dip right there, yeah, makes sense? Pandemic. That's in March. Absolutely hilarious that SPY might have resistance at 420.69. Hate to be a bear, but this price is just unreasonable right now. Yeah, earnings have been good, but the market is pricing stocks like the recovery has already happened completely. And this is not the case. And we've talked about how $17 trillion have been pumped into these stocks to keep the SPY, the 500 largest stocks, the most important stocks, curated by the government, so it must be good. Right? These stocks have been buoyed by the efforts to save the economy. But then what is that doing other than just providing a little band-aid on the economy while the coerced buying action for these squeeze possibilities continues to plague the entire global economy. Something interesting. You probably noticed that the GME will spike up randomly in any given day. They've noticed that a lot of this week especially, well, for the past 2 days, there have been these massive volume spikes around 1 p.m. It's very strange that it's the biggest volume candle for each of these days. What does this mean? Not too sure, but it's definitely strange. Could it be shorts covering some of their FTD so they don't bleed out? Don't know. Could it be coincidence? Their answer is a resounding no. Why? First, it looks like boomer stocks like SPY, Apple, Microsoft, etc. to see if it was just a market-wide occurrence. No. But why do we... but do you know who else it happened to today around 3 p.m.? AMC. This was from yesterday. AMC tumbled below 1047. Now that's just weird. Two stocks we believe are abusively shorted, both having their highest volume candles, green volume, in the second half of trading days around the same time while the rest of the market doesn't, seems very fishy to me. They've been looking at the charts and this happens a lot, as you've probably noticed. What they theorize is that this could be shorts covering the bare minimum to stay alive. They have no evidence to back that up, but it's just a theory. One of these GameStop theories, you know? A question. Apes, I usually come to you with knowledge, but now I'm asking for knowledge. So the past few days, they keep seeing OTC off exchange and OTC BB bids for GME that are above $10,000. These aren't just random. I've been seeing them for weeks and they come at random times throughout the day for like 10 to 20 minutes. Does anyone know what this means? Well, do the OTC markets represent dark pools? And if so, what do they tell us? At first, they thought that there was just some person trying to F up the spread, but it doesn't make sense and they keep seeing this every single day. So if you guys have any suggestions, let us know in the comments of what you think any other DD would be able to explain this phenomenon that Hank is describing. And finally, fear, uncertainty, and doubt alleviation. Apes, we know that waiting sucks and it creates fear, uncertainty, and doubt in your mind. When the stock isn't moving and going down, it's very easy to become uncertain. They feel this too. However, anytime they catch themselves thinking that it's either A, not going to happen, or B, we're wrong about the short interest, they think of two things. 1, DFV doubled down even though he could retire in luxury right now. 2, GME's chart is not behaving like the non-manipulated shorted stock. They'll echo what they said in the other DDs that he's written. It is not normal for the stock double in the span of a few hours on news of a CFO getting fired on the 24th. It is not normal for the stock to open above 250 and then go to 350 before noon to fall all the way back to 172 all before 2 p.m. on absolutely no news on the 10th. It is not normal for a stock to tank on earnings and then literally make back these losses the very next day on absolutely no news on the 25th, and it's not normal for the stock to double on news of the CFO being ousted, only to go down 5% on news that the key player is announced as the god of the board of directors. We've been seeing very strange relationships with these news catalysts here. So, in essence, this is becoming the key of the question here. Can you actually believe that GME is trading in relationship to the actual news, the actual positive catalysts that exist, or are they trading in a completely separated, non-disjointed part of reality? It is not normal, etc. Continue on. This is just from his previous DD. Stay strong, apes. What would you do in this situation? Hold GME. Why are you gonna hold? I'm just built different. Not a financial advisor. Thank you, Hank, for being able to, once again, ask some pretty important questions that we're going to continue to cover on live stream. If you guys want to check us out, make sure to turn your bell on when you subscribe and hit that subscribe button on our way to 100,000 subscribers. Thank those of you who have all pressed not just the subscribe button, but the join button right here in order to be able to become either a Mo Monkey, a Moon Platoon, a Meatball, the Space Legend, or a Gorillionaire for supporting the show. Appreciate you guys a ton, and we'll see you in the money.